Hi, I'm Max Hernandez, and this podcast is Book Chat with You. In this podcast, I do my best to try to elicit, conversation back and forth about literature. It's not about me. It's about us trying to converse together. Short stories at this point. Today, we're still looking at the short story collection by Carol Shields, Collected Stories. So today we're looking at the short story Pardon, and I am so thankful that this short story that I'm going to be looking at today is, much shorter than the last one I looked at, Flitting Behavior. This short story is less than 6 pages because if you count from the first page here, the text doesn't even start from a third down the page. And so in this story, everybody seems to have an obsession with apologizing. Now we only have two characters, one who goes by Ernie's wife and Millie. But nevertheless, in this story, Millie goes into Ernie's cards and things shop. So she wants to buy an apology card and started looking at it like, card, what? Oh, like a Hallmark card. I guess it took me a second to get it because yesterday I just bought like a few Pokemon cards, I don't play it or anything. It's just kind of a novelty, but no, it means like kind of a Hallmark-ish card, Guess one of those shops, and all the cards are gone, and so the character is, so she's kind of questioning the shopkeep, and she says, "Well, I'm sorry," and then she kind of snaps. Then they both apologize to each other. So it's like at this moment in Canada, everyone's apologizing to each other. And then she's going to go across town to go and find the book or find a card elsewhere. So whenever she's going to do that, the store owner, or I guess, it's called Ernie's Cards and Things, and the character's name, at least in the book or at least in the story, is Ernie's wife. But in all actuality, it's still like effectively the owner, right? In that sense, if like a husband, wife own a shop together, right? That's how we should kind of call it, right? So and then she's asked if Millie can take a clothing item with her into town with her whenever she goes, and she's going to go buy a card. And I kind of like that because at least here in China, I try to, be friendly with everybody inside of any kind of shop because, I need that kind of rapport. I need that kind of relationship wherever I might go. I'm not really friends with many people or anything, but at least with the language barriers, it's easier if I just go to the same shops all the time and stuff, And whenever I look at the story, from there, she kind of goes, and then it mentions even like Trudeau apologized to Reagan, and then Reagan apologized to the summit. And as you kind of like look at that, it's kind of telling because it's kind of like it kind of tells you like when this kind of took place. It doesn't say Prime Minister Trudeau, it doesn't say President Reagan, it says Trudeau Reagan, but it kind of tells you when the story had kind of taken place a little bit, right? And then in the end, we kind of see why she would kind of want to apologize, and it's kind of funny. She says she forgave her father for naming her Millie instead of Joanne, and her mother for passing on her genes that made her so oversensitive to small hurts and slights. I don't know. Kind of funny, right? And then you want a card for something like that too? I don't know. But what I like to hear from you is what is an apology to you, though? As I try to make these videos, and I'm very subconscious about what I say, and I very much want to be authentic. I had a stutter throughout so much of my life, but yet I don't try to edit out the stutters and stuff so much because I think I'm getting better at this. But there's a degree of authenticity I want to have. But I think that along with that authenticity, I'm very subconscious about what I might say online and stuff. I'm nervous I might say the wrong thing, but then I think people like online, like we're told not to apologize. I think it's out of certain cultures, maybe even a bit in China, you're not supposed to sometimes admit a wrongdoing because that means that you are at fault. It's like if you get into some kind of a car collision with somebody, you might just want to just deal it out with the insurance companies, but don't say you're at fault at that moment that the situation kind of arises, and it just kind of makes me think about some of that kind of stuff, but maybe there's some kind of religious circles, maybe in Christianity or something, to apologize is to seek a kind of restitution, at some point, if you want some kind of a forgiveness of sins, you just, if you kind of wrong somebody. But I think at times, there was one time a while back I went to kind of ask somebody, should I have helped out at this or that moment? It wasn't exactly an apology, but it's kind of adjacent. And the guy had sort of asked my wife, "Is your husband okay?" But I was fine. I just kind of was ruminating on a certain topic, and I just kind of wanted to ask. So I mean, what is kind of an apology for you? Because I mean, for me, I guess it means a few things. I think sometimes being married, I think sometimes the guy is just responsible for everything wrong that's ever happened to his wife throughout all of eternity, and that we're just supposed to always just be at a constant state of apologizing, right? But anyways, I'm going to show you guys here, page 82 on this side of the screen, and then I'll give a few thoughts. So I'm actually going to go from the first page of the story this time. Pardon. On Friday afternoon, Millie stopped at Ernie's Cards and Things to buy a mea culpa card for her father-in-law, whom she had apparently insulted. "Sorry," Ernie's wife said in her testy way. "We're all out." Millie found this hard to believe. The card rack was full. You could buy a happiness in your new home card, or a mind your own beeswax card, or a spectacular $3 pop-up card announcing to the world that you were feeling underappreciated. Surely there was such a thing as a "I'm sorry" card. You can believe what you want, Ernie's wife said, but we're sold right out. At the start of the week, I had at least dozens of cards in stock. We had a real nice selection, all the way from "I boobed" to "Forgive me, my dear heart." They went like hotcakes, the whole lot. That's more than I can sell in an average year. How strange, Millie said. What on earth's everyone being sorry about all of a sudden? Ernie's wife made a gesture of impatience. She wasn't there to stand around jawing with the customers. She snapped. There was the inventory to do, and the ordering, and so on. Millie at once apologized for taking up her time. She had been speaking rhetorically when she asked what everyone was being sorry about. It's kind of strange, huh? This is kind of a strange scene. But maybe just buying cards like that is kind of a strange scene. I don't know. I went to buy someone a card. It was very nice after my second son's birth, and I never got him the card, and maybe I still should give him the card. Maybe he'd think it's weird though, right? If I give him the card after so much time has passed? I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know. But anyways, I hope this is long enough, and I would love to hear your thoughts about these things, to read the story Pardon by Carol Shields, to hear your thoughts about apologizing, apologies, and what one can do. Apparently, maybe don't go to Ernie's Cards and Things, because they might have run out of apology cards, but whatever else you might do. So, thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you keep listening. Thank you. Bye.